were at the back. So I finished speaking, they clapped for me, and then I went to sit down. Then he called me. So I went to him. Then he said that was a very powerful presentation. And then he said I should take his number. So I took his number, and since then, we connected. That person's name is George Sapon. George Sapon is the executive secretary of the National Media Commission right now. You know him. He's also a lawyer by profession. So George Sapon and I we connected. I think that was about 2002. Since then, just by that interaction that we connected, he became my mentor, giving me opportunities, putting me in training programs. I was learning under him. In fact, it was through that inspiration that I went to law school and became a lawyer. So all the things, so it got to a point that I got a job at the National Commission for Small Arms and Light Weapons. And then my boss went to him one time and he said, this guy that I work with, he has so much confidence. I don't know where he gets it from. He does. I got to National Media Commission and then, National Commission on Small Arms. And I started getting grants from various organizations, UNDP, European Union, British High Commission, and the rest. I said, this guy, because I could just write an email to the embassy and say, I want to have a conversation with you. And then I set up the meeting. My boss comes, we have the conversation, and they say, oh, bring a proposal. Then we got support. How did I achieve all that? It was through that mentorship that I got, the opportunity I got through George Sapon. Because he had set up an NGO called Youth Network for Human Rights and Democracy. And so just when we became friends, I joined the team. And then I became very active. We were volunteering in communities to educate people on human rights and things like that. Oh, we went to so many communities. Sometimes we walked several distances. But I enjoyed it because I had passion for things like that. And through that, at that time, very young guy, I could go for meetings, high-level meetings at the UNDP offices, EU offices, representing the organization. And I'll go and meet heads of agencies, big guys. But I was at the same table with them. And they would look at me and say, who is this young guy? And things like that. But all my communication skills, my writing skills, my interactive skills, all those things, I built them through that mentorship that gave me that opportunity. Then the organization set up a program called, so that's the third story, called the Young Leaders Program. Samuel is here. Samuel is actually an alumnus of the Young Leaders Program. This program started in 2003. So imagine how many years it's been running. In fact, as we speak, there's a session ongoing at Osu, which from here I'll be going there. So this program has been able to provide training and mentorship opportunity for over 500 young leaders. And about 5 of them are currently members of parliament. Yes. So over the past 2 decades, this is one program that has provided training, mentorship for young people. Now, what do these stories tell? Chinua Achebe, in his book Things Fall Apart, raised what I call a philosophical question. He said, where are the young suckers that will grow when the old banana tree dies? Have you heard that before? What does that? I think that is very philosophical when it comes to issues of mentorship. It tells me that for society to progress, we must be deliberate about grooming and training and mentoring young people. Have you seen how the plantain is like? So where do you find the suckers? They emerge from the mother tree, is that not it? And so they share the same ecosystem. And Achebe is asking, where are the young suckers that will grow when the old banana tree dies? We are not saying that anybody should die. But we are saying that we need to be deliberate about creating opportunities for mentorship of young people so that we'll have a better society. So mentorship is essentially a developmental relationship. A developmental relationship between someone who is much more experienced, who usually we call a mentor, and then a mentee who is learning from the mentor. Do you agree or disagree with me? You agree. Now, it happens in different ways. It could be informal and it could be formal. When it is informal, we know in our society that there's informal mentorship. I mean, our traditional society, usually in our families, you see if your father is a carpenter or a mason or call it whatever, a doctor or a lawyer, most of the time they try to what? Groom you, prepare you, mentor you into one of those trades. You get it? So they are more experienced. So through the mentorship, they are able to prepare you to also take over, to acquire those skills, to gain knowledge and experience so that you be a better person. It can also be formal. And it happens in several formal settings. In fact, in the legal profession, you cannot be a lawyer properly so-called if you do not complete a mandatory pupillage, which is 6 months. And so, how does that happen? You have finished law school, you have passed your exams, and you've been called to the bar. But before you get your license, you'll be attached to a people master who is at least 7 years at the bar to train you. So you'll be attached to that person. You'll be in the law firm. You'll be drafting processes, going to courts, representing clients, going to police station to bail people, and all that for 6 months before you can get your license to practice as a lawyer. We see that also in the medical profession. Housemanship. We see it in the engineering profession. Many, many others. So those are formal mentorship arrangements. But when it comes to leadership, where do you get the mentorship from when it comes to leadership? For instance, if you aspire to be a member of parliament, where will you get the mentorship from? Maybe you look for an MP and have an informal relationship with them, because I have not seen a formal system aside the student parliaments that we have on various campuses. So I'll consider that also a formal arrangement. But I am looking forward to a day where the Parliamentary Training Institute would even introduce a program for prospective or aspiring MPs. Honorable is here. Parliament, it can be quite technical when it comes to the rules of procedure or the standing orders and how they conduct business. And that's why I'm very excited about the reforms that have come with the revised standing orders. I'm sure you may have heard about backbenchers business or time. It's a very innovative way of grooming new MPs, first-time MPs, who also have the opportunity to do that. But we can go a step backwards. There are a lot of people who have interest in being MPs. So, can't Parliament by itself make an arrangement that from time to time they will run some courses for people who desire to come to parliament, so that by the time they are in parliament, they would have had some basic skills, knowledge, and understanding about how parliament works. So Joanna mentioned earlier that I was head of Citizens Bureau. So one of the things that Mr. Speaker did, which I headed, was to set up an office responsible for citizens' engagement with civil society. It became so critical because you may have observed that democracies across the world are backsliding. Citizens are losing trust in public institutions, democratic institutions. When you see the Afrobarometer ratings, you see that they have rated the military very high. They rate the military, always military is on top. And when you see coups happening in the Sahel region, you see how citizens are jubilating. Did you see Burkina Faso when the coup happened? What happened? They were on the streets, they were happy. And that is a very sad spectacle for democracy. Why? Because citizens have lost trust in the so-called democracy that we have told them. Because they don't get the dividends, the jobs, the development that they expect. The institutions are not responding to their needs. The institutions are not opening up to engage citizens on policies and programs that they are planning for them. And so this office was to work closely with civil society to ensure that citizens understand the work of parliament, becoming more open, and get the views of citizens. Parliament should be able to get the views of citizens to influence the decisions that they make. You get it? So it's very critical that Parliament is open to citizens. So in Ghana here, several organizations have tried to organize programs like this. And at this point, I want to commend PN Africa. Let's give them a hand of applause for the fantastic job they are doing. And I think that it's something that the state should invest in. The state must be deliberate. It should not only sit in our national youth policy that we want to promote youth participation in decision making. For young people to be active, to be interested in decision making, they need the opportunity to engage. They need the skills and the knowledge to engage. For people to take them serious. Just last Friday, the National Youth Authority invited me to do a session for them on the setting up of the regional and district youth committees. It's something that many of us don't know. The state, through the National Youth Authority Act, has made provision for the establishment of regional and district youth committees so that we'll have a decentralized approach to youth development. And the young people at all levels will be involved in decision making. But since the law was passed in 2016, that structure has not been activated. And many people don't know about it. And so we are all sitting down, and then the law is not being implemented. So I'm happy that they've taken steps to implement the law now. So I'll just wrap up by saying that mentorship is very important. It presents opportunity for the transfer of critical skills in leadership, in entrepreneurship, in sports, in academia. If you go to the academia, for instance, you see that professors have mentees under them that they are training, they are grooming to in the field of academics. Now, I don't think so. Let me just touch on a few challenges of mentorship that we face. I think that there is poor coordination of some of these initiatives. Various groups try to do different things, and there is no center trying to coordinate to ensure that we are reaching out to the right people. Yes, I mean, we need to give the opportunity to as many young people as possible. But if PN Africa trains you and another organization has another mentorship program or somewhere, how do we know from the center how many people are being reached, how many people are not being reached, so that we can plan effectively, we can plan and coordinate effectively? So I think this falls squarely at the doorstep of the National Youth Authority, because youth participation, training, and mentorship is part of their mandate, and it is contained in the National Youth Policy. And so I think that must be taken up. And the state must provide resources. I've seen the experience in Parliament. We have several student parliaments, but there's limited resource. When I was at Speaker's office, we received several requests from student parliaments that they want to be trained. They also need support to get robes and things like that. But when there is no budget, how are you going to do that? We must be more deliberate, so that Parliament or other institutions that are involved in mentorship, they will allocate resources annually for things like this. Otherwise, I'm sure PN Africa is running this program based on a grant. And when the grant cycle ends, it means that the program will not run. Gilbert, ally. Yes, so what is the sustainability strategy? We have to look for ways of sustaining very brilliant initiatives like this. There are also some risks associated with mentor-mentee relationships that you must look out for, especially in the formal mentorship settings. There are clear rules of engagement, but we know that there have been cases where there could be abuse in mentor-mentee relationship, which I think, if it is within a formal setting, it can be managed. But we as young people, are we ready to offer ourselves for mentorship? Are we ready? Do you think we are ready? Are we ready to make the sacrifices that we require to do that, without thinking of anything in return? You are answering no. But I think that you must also be committed, knowing that mentorship is a developmental process. You are going to acquire critical skills. Some of these things you won't read in textbook. Look, when we're in law school, we learned all manner of things. But you enter the law firm, go to court, before you realize that there's a difference between reading the thing in book and what happens in court. You get it? I never knew. The first thing that struck me, that my mentor is now the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Ramsay. The first thing that so the first case I worked on was Oliver Vomawa's committal proceedings in Ashaman District Court. I was just called to the bar, and the following Monday we had to go to court in Ashama because he was going through committal proceedings. But the first thing that struck me, which I never learned in law school, was that when you get to court, the first thing you do is to approach the clerks to confirm whether your case is on the cause list. So the list of cases in court is called the cause list. You need to check. So if you are a junior, you must check before even your senior arrives, because you can sit in court the whole day and your case may not be called. But the first thing you do is to check and see if your case is on the cause list. And then you know that, oh, okay, the court will sit. Sometimes the court may not even sit. So if you check and you ask them, then they will confirm that, oh, the judge will be sitting. So mentorship, through mentorship, you learn a lot of things that you ordinarily wouldn't know. You don't read it in any textbook. I've also observed that young people, over the years that I've been running the Young Leaders Training Program, have some difficulty maintaining such relationships. I don't know, but I've come across a lot of young leaders who are not able to build such networks and keep them. I don't know what your difficulty is. You tell me when we are talking, we are having a conversation. But I also feel that there are people who are not open to mentor young people. And I don't know why. So I'm sure those who are involved in these programs, you have to deliberately target people and convince them about the benefits of mentorship. Because even me as an adult who mentors people, I learn a lot from them. And through that, I'm able to validate my skills, whether or not the judgments that I'm making are right or they are working. So those are some of the challenges that I anticipate. But I think that just as I benefited from mentorship, and through that, now I have lots and lots of mentors, lots and lots of people that I have come across. And sometimes it's not only the physical interaction, it's part of it. But you can even have a mentor who you follow just online. You read about the person, you watch their videos, and you've never met the person. But because you like the person and how they do their things, I remember when I was in level 100, I used to watch Martin Luther's videos, speeches. I have a dream. I'll watch it over and over again. I'll watch Obama's speeches over and over again. I'll read about him, read his books. Those are all, you may not have met the person one-on-one. But these are all opportunities. So I think that I want to encourage everyone to identify such mentorship opportunities like this. And I think you are very privileged to be part of this session. Thank you very much. It's now that you are doing here for me. When they introduced, it was only honorable that you did here for.
Thank you so much for that, Prosper. I believe we've all learned a lot. And if you have a question or a comment, yes, kindly raise up your hand. Okay. Whose hand came up first? Yours or hers? Hers. Okay.
Thank you very much. So my name is Kendall Elizabeth Mante. I want to ask, why do mentors have the assumption that everyone that comes across them, like a mentee, wants money from them? Thank you.
All right. So we'll take about 3.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Elisha Supir Mpwangan. Please, I want to find out. He made mention that some people genuinely do not or are not interested in mentoring others. And he said that we should try and convince them or make them see the importance. So I want to find out, how do you convince someone who is not interested in mentoring you?
Thank you very much. My name is Titus Osudako. My question is, sometimes you would be looking up to someone, and maybe the person is into health, you are into maybe law, but because you mimic and imitate the person, you end up digressing from your lane to the person's lane. So how would you look up to someone in a specific field and maintain or be on track without digressing?
Thank you.
Good, thank you. So, so if we have a society where when Honorable goes to campaign, or when constituents see their MPs, the only thing they ask for is what? help, money and other things, why wouldn't they be running away from us? Yes, because that is how our society has become. You MP, before he leaves home, people he will do the first consultation at home, because people will be waiting in the queue for consultation, and then some will come. By the time you get to Parliament, some are waiting. When you are in the chamber, some are waiting. When you return home, some are waiting. And so it's something that has become very difficult to manage. But I believe, for instance, PN Africa, when you are engaging MPs on some of these mentorship programs, you first explain to them the objective of the program and what you expect from them. So as much as possible, my suggestion is that we may want to conscientize the people some more, that for mentorship, it is not only about giving people money, but it's about impacting society with the skills and the knowledge and the experience that you have acquired, so that they will also be better people. I think that when we educate people some more, we sensitize them some more about why they should mentor young people, I believe we will get a few more people to be part. But it looks like Elizabeth Kendall, okay.
The reason why I don't want to agree with you is that the MPs get what they want. They go to the constituents and then they promise us what they know as MPs are not their jobs. I will build your roads. I will offer healthcare just to get our votes. And so when you see them lined up in your house, it is because you called for it, and not necessarily because we are demanding. And they use slogans like Obiya Didi. What do you mean by Obiya Didi? Now it is Obiya to Didi, and you are complaining. So I think at the end of the day, it is not necessarily the mentee, but it looks like the mentors have actually psyched up their mind, because that is what you've actually promised us, and we are demanding for the promise.
I get you. This thing has always come up for debate, because it's like if the MP comes to you, or the PC, I think he wants to make, if the PC comes to you and says, "Oh, I'm going to pass laws, I will represent you in Parliament," what does that mean to you? I think so. It's always a problem, and there are a lot of structural things that we need to do in terms of even our constitutional architecture. I believe strongly that if DCs who are vested with state resources are elected, they will take that pressure from members of parliament. That is what I think. And because you are managing resources, the president said that 80% of common funds should go to the district. How much does MP have? So I believe that if DCs are made to face the people to seek their vote and their mandate, the pressure will rather be channeled to maybe some will still come to MPs, but at least it will reduce. Please, Honorable, I think you want to make an.
Thank you so much. Conrad, I can say that you are mixing two things here. Mentorship is different from constituent demanding something from you. You get that? So if you want to learn under somebody, it is not the way you were expressing it. If you see yourself as a constituent who wants to demand something, the mentor will see you as such. So come as a mentee, avail yourself. It comes with a whole lot of challenges. And to make it worse, the biases towards the women is enormous. As a lady coming under a man as a mentee, you should be ready to bear all the brunt, all the criticisms, all the, back kicks and all that. Aside that, you should be ready. If you really come genuinely to be mentored, you should be ready that at all days, all times, the mentor will send you somewhere, will assign you a role. You should be fully prepared and psych your mind that at any point in time, you must deliver. That's how you can impress your mentor. So, as for the constituent demanding, it's a different ball game altogether. We have cardinally 3 major rules: legislative rule, you have the oversight rule, and then the representative rule. There is a representative aspect. You have a responsibility to lobby, not you doing the thing, but you use your office to lobby for projects for your constituent. That has been overblown and exaggerated in the campaign, trail. So you say, I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. You are only leveraging on that component. It may help you or it may not help you. So the constituent, yes, this is how it has come to stay. And we can't do otherwise. As he's saying, what we can also do is that the DCE that is appointed should be your best of best, so that he will help you to, undertake some of these developmental projects. So thank you.
Great. So the next question is, how do you convince someone who is not interested in mentoring you? How do you convince someone who is not interested in mentoring you? Sometimes you don't give up on the first attempt. These mentors we are talking about, they can also be very busy people, and it depends on your approach. And if you've heard about the elevator pitch, you know that when you get the least opportunity, within 3 minutes, you should be able to convince the person why you are engaging the person. Are you getting it? Sometimes it may also be the approach. So if within MPs can be very busy. Even in parliament, they are hot. I mean, trying to juggle so many things at the same time. And so it means that at our level, we must also work on ourselves. Always, if I'm targeting Honorable to be my mentor, I must already have in my mind at the least opportunity that I meet him, what I want to tell him, so that I will convince him. But I think that if we want to do something on a larger scale, then again, we have to encourage them. So, for instance, maybe through this program, the mock parliament, PN Africa can decide to identify a set of members of parliament. And there's group mentorship as well. So maybe a group of mentees assigned to a mentor over a period of time. And it can be done virtually and things like that. So if you identify a set of MPs that we want them to mentor young people, then we would have engaged them and encouraged them to accept the offer to do the mentorship. But if it's at the personal level, first, I think you should prepare within the least opportunity that you have convinced the person why you want the person to mentor you. But don't give up at the first attempt. You must try as many attempts as possible. You can even go by way of just volunteering. Just volunteering. Anytime you hear that MP is around, you go and show your face. And over time, you will see that, this guy is serious, he's dedicated, he's committed. So then you begin to engage. So I think there are several ways of doing that. The third one is assuming, how do you still stick to your aspirations, your career aspirations, when your mentor belongs to a different profession? So mentorship comes in different ways. It even comes by way of decision making, like the mentorship support. Maybe you want to take a decision as to a particular career path. The person may not necessarily be in that profession. Are you getting it? But he can still give you insight and give you options for you to take that decision. You may observe certain things about a certain mentor, maybe their public speaking skills or how they engage, many other things about the person other than the person's profession. So you can still learn and still keep to your career aspirations. Are you getting my point? So you don't need to change your goals just because your mentor is in a different profession. No, you can still, if you want to be a lawyer and your mentor is a medical doctor, it doesn't spoil anything. You can still learn from him. You may never know that, when it comes to he will say, when it comes to the legal profession, I'm not the right person, but I have this colleague or friend who can help you with that. So I had a mentee who wanted to go into the army. And I am not a soldier. So I had to call one major and then connect the two of them, and then he could advise him. I think he graduated recently from the army. Yes. All right. So are we doing another round?
We'll take another set of questions. Honorable.
Yes, so the issue of why will a mentor refuse you if you approach him? We have seen so many instances where people come as mentees. In the shortest possible time, they want to rub shoulders with the mentor. Especially if you are in a constituency where you admire your political figure so much and you want to learn under him or her. You must first of all bear in mind that political space is not the way we see it. And we must also know that it's a career, just like all careers. That's what we sometimes lose sight of. If it's a career, you must begin from somewhere and get to another level, right? You don't come, I want you to mentor me. Then after you gone halfway, knowing, one or two things, I've indicated or shown you how to do this, how to do that. You think you are so perfect. So you want to come after the person. And most of the times, those people, they flop. And that will end you. So many constituencies, people did that. And you can't find their traces again. So let's begin from somewhere with a clear mind. If you have read the book of 48 Laws of Power, you will understand that you need to serve your master diligently until he is weak, he cannot go, and then that's when you will have space and topple over him. But at the middle of it, you just want to come. It won't work for you. So it is the approach. And he mentioned another thing. It's almost escaped me, but it was very vital. Career guidance is one challenge we have in Ghana here. We get up, go to school, we don't know what we want to do. It's a big challenge. Maybe in the cities it's better, but in the villages where I come from, it's a big challenge. So we don't get to know what we want or what we want to be. We don't get to know the innate capabilities that we have and where those capabilities will lead us into. Talking about the switching career and all that, no, you don't. Political space is so pervasive that whichever career you are in, you fit into it. That's why when you get into parliament, there are a lot of things, whether science, engineering, business, all fields, you fit into it. What are you looking for? Leadership skills. You are with a person for leadership skills. So the person will mentor you based on that. But don't leave your career. Well, if you want to, and you have the energy, you can do that. But still maintain your career, and then learn the leadership skills, and you are good to go. Thank you.
So, as Honorable mentioned, you can maintain your career. Let's give others the opportunity, right? I mean, Parliament, like I always say, it's from archaeology to zoology. So every expert is there, from the teacher to the farmer, to the hairdresser, to the businessman, to the doctor. They are all in Parliament because it's their expertise that helps with the policy making and the law making. So it's important. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. I want to ask that, can you be under mentorship of two people at the same time? Yes, that's the first question. And then also, I believe that mentorship is about learning, exposing yourself to learn, to develop capacity to deliver. But then you are under someone's tutelage. You have learned to some extent. And I believe that the learning process should be such that if you learn, you should be given the opportunity to actually bring something out of you. The more you do that, the more you become very acquainted with whatever it is that you are learning. You have learned all that you need to be learning, but you are not given the opportunity to actually deliver. It seems some of them are such that they think if they give you that opportunity, you will shadow them. So they will never give you that opportunity. So what do? Do you continue to stay there, or do you switch? And is it also possible to be under mentorship of two people at the same time? Yes.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. So I want to know what I should look out for when selecting a mentor. Yes, so that's the question.
Hello, boss. Okay, so when you were speaking, you said young people are not able to maintain the connection they build over time. So I want to know, what are some of the ways that worked for you that you can share with us so that it will also help us?
So we'll take a last.
Thank you very much. Honorable, please, you made mention that cardinally there are three major roles as a member of parliament. You mentioned the representative, that is when you lobby for projects for your constituency, but constitutionally you are not mandated to do those projects. And then you mentioned oversight and legislative. You explained the representative, you couldn't explain the oversight and legislative, and I need them very, very well.
Prosper, should he go first? Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me begin with your question. Majorly, as I mentioned, you represent a constituency, and the constituency is made up of constituents. So that is the representative role. So you advocate for that constituency, you lobby for that constituency. You have to, I mean, in business language, market and sell that constituency. The challenges in the constituency, the outside world must know and can offer any help, then they do it. That is the representative role. The oversight responsibility, that one, all these are mandatory. The oversight responsibility is what recently you see us doing. We have to go out to all the institutions. As an MP, you have to supervise all the institutions. They bring their budget, you approve the budget. You must also be interested in what they have been allocated and approved. Are they using it the right way, or they just get a budget and whatever they want, they are doing with it? So you are providing oversight responsibility. You are looking into a ministry, an agency, what they are doing. Is it in consonant with what the parliament approved? You get that? And then the legislative one, I don't think I have to go through that again. So we make the laws, all the processes and other things. We amend the laws and all that. That's it. And then one gentleman here asked if you can go under more than one mentor, right? Yes, as many as you can. Even there are some people you are studying them from very afar. It doesn't necessarily mean that you must be in that person's constituency before you can study the person, or you have to be very close with the person before you can do that. No. There was another follow-up question from that person, and basically it was about what? Yes, very important. You see, the political space is so wide and varied. Why do you think that it's only becoming a member of parliament that will have meant that what you learned, you have put that into use? So there are political administrators, election management bodies, everywhere. I mean, a lot of areas that you can express what you have learned. And then by and large, you will definitely, if you want to be an MP, you'll get there. You get it. So you can put that into use at every stage. Right. Thank you.
Thank you. So I largely associate myself with Honorable's responses. As I said earlier in my presentation, there are so many mentors. Yes, it depends on what you want. You may not get everything from one mentor. So I also told you how I follow American politics and the towering figures in American politics, either by reading their books or watching their videos or their speeches and things like that. So that one is endless. You can find as many as possible. We have seen very interesting developments when it comes to mentees suddenly want to challenge their mentors. I mean, in Ghana here, we've seen so many of them. Even in Parliament, we've seen how people who were assisting MPs suddenly get up to contest them. So it's possible that that accounts for why some MPs are not opening up for such relationships, as Honorable said. And then we've even seen it in other professions. In the law profession, for instance, we've seen people grooming young lawyers, and they get to a point and then suddenly they switch, set up their own law firm, take their clients from them. And it can be very painful. And when such things happen, if you don't manage it well, other people will now be hesitant to offer others opportunity. There are very nice ways of parting relationship with people. Because don't forget that you will need them. You will need, look, these senior people that we engage in, they engage at a different level. At a different level. One of the challenges I faced was when I got my appointment letter and I had to part ways with the Speaker of Parliament. It was a very difficult one. Extremely difficult one. Sami knows that he reported me to him. That I said I'm leaving. It was a very difficult one. So when I received a call from Jubilee House to come for my appointment letter, and I took it, Speaker had traveled. He wasn't in Ghana. And I was praying that he will not hear the information before I tell him. Because it would have been suicidal on my part. So I kept the letter to my chest. Until he returned. I was monitoring until he returned. And then one Sunday morning, I went to the house and had a conversation with him. And then he asked me, am I sure of the decision I'm taking? Because I know that I will need speaker in future. I know. So such relationship must be well managed. In fact, even when I went to see him and we discussed everything, he was still not happy. And on various platforms, he gave me out. But I mean, now things are okay. But I'm just emphasizing that you need to be careful when you think that you have arrived, so you can move on. At that stage, you need to manage it. You need to manage it. Even if you have to involve third parties to try to engage, it's better. And as Honorable said, if you have come to train under an MP, it doesn't mean you should necessarily come into Parliament by challenging your MP. The skills that you have acquired can be useful anywhere. So, if at a point you want to go to Parliament, it's not bad, but you have to manage the relationship very well. So, about that question, there was a question about why young people find it difficult to maintain a relationship with mentors. You should be telling me that. Because there are a lot of young people, you try to even encourage them and they just go off. I had a very terrible experience. And I always tell young people that, okay, did I say terrible? It wasn't bad, but I could have done better. I'll tell you. In 2007, I was invited by IEA to Ada to make a presentation. They were having a roundtable discussion on youth participation in governance or something. So I was one of the speakers. And then after I spoke, then Professor Hoy, who was one of the mentors, I should say lead facilitators, walked to me and told me, you know Professor Kwame Hoy? Told me, shook my hands and said, young man, you've done very well. You deserve to be mentored. Did you hear that? And as naive as I was, I said thank you and left. I was so naive. I didn't even say, oh, Prof, please give me your phone number. I'm sorry. You see, no, but that was an offer. I should have taken it instantly and said, oh, Prof, can I have your number? And then from time to time. Fast forward. I said which year? 2007. Fast forward. 2008, there was an election in Ghana here. Professor Hoy was one of the key people who was involved in appointment of officials, government officials. So maybe I wouldn't be here today if I had kept that relationship. In fact, subsequently when I met him and I tried to it didn't work as I thought, because I missed the opportunity. I missed it. Because after election, it will be like, oh, it's because you want something. And I tried many times. Fine, we are cool now. We are very cool now. we speak, I meet him and all that. But I missed that opportunity if I had kept a relationship with Professor Hoy in 2007. I'm very confident that I would have been very close to government in 2008 or 2009. So that is just to tell you. I don't know, but I don't know whether people feel shy. You see, yes, there's this feeling that if you are always contacting a big man, it's as if you want something from the person. And so we are shy to do such things. But occasionally, you can find the person's birthday. You know, do you know that leadership can be very lonely? Yes, you may think that, oh, the person knows so many people. But that's your ability to check on the person occasionally. And this is my mentor that I told you about. I made it a point that occasionally I'll call him. And you know what that does? There are times you call the person and they say, you cry, there's this opportunity. Come. Yes, I even forgot about you. And it is so real. It's about people within. So someone will call you and say, oh, I need a recommendation to employ someone. Then you begin to ask yourself, who will I recommend? So if you are someone, at least once a month you text or call. Show some commitment that you really want to have some relationship with the person. And then over time, the person can open up to you. So I think we should be a bit more resilient. We should be a bit more forceful in keeping such relationships. Yeah. So that's what. Why? What is interesting there? Honorable, do you want to add something? Yeah, fine.
So we'll take the last round of questions. The last round. What was your question?
The question, what you look out for. Yes. So the first question I ask myself is, what are your values? What are your values as an individual? Do you know your values? What are your aspirations? What do you want? What are your expectations from a mentorship relationship? Do these align? So when you observe this person, that your prospective mentor, do they align? Do they align? Do you want to relate to someone who is not very well perceived by the public? Do you want to associate with somebody like that? So you must first check. And then on the basis of that, you can engage. That would be my simple response. You must know your values, find out if they align, your interests, your expectations. And then you will now begin. It's just like looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Yes. I think I've seen, yeah.
Okay, my questions, they are in two folds. The first one has to do with, at what point do you start mentoring as someone who is also a mentee? Because most of us here have mentors, right? But we feel like I'm not old, I'm not there, so I should be there and get to a certain point before I start having a mentee. The second question has to do with, I want you to tell us from your personal experience. Most of the question has to do with what should mentors do for their mentees. But for you to be a different kind of a mentee, what should you also be doing for your mentor? So I want you to tell us from your personal experience the things you did for your mentors that set you apart. I believe your mentor had so many mentees, but there were obviously certain things you did for them that made you like Joseph among the siblings. Yeah, thank you.
Interesting questions. Very, very interesting.
Thank you very much. Please, I also want to ask a question pertaining to what you said in regards to maybe when you meet a senior person or a mentor who you think can mentor you, and then you take the person's contact. Sometimes when you text them or when you reach out to them, it is very difficult because of their workload and schedules. So I want you to also tell me how, if I employ all the strategies and it doesn't work, what other strategies should I employ to reach out to the mentor or whoever I want to reach out to? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, quick responses. First one, at what point do you start mentoring? Oh, there's another one? Okay, let's take them. Let's take them so that we just...
Oh, sweet. When he's done, I'll come to you and then we'll take the...
Thank you. I am an assembly member
Oh, okay. Honorable. Honorable.
Thank you. And in fact, we've been experiencing this same problem that our honorable MP addressed. In fact, as young as we are, sometimes we will see some people trying to at least, instead of asking maybe some questions or even helping them in what they need from the district assembly, they will be asking money instead. So it's sometimes a young guy will come to you and you feel like he's also coming for something from you. You see, so sometimes we are very cautious on that. But I want to ask, I really love His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, but I'm not at his party though. And I'm having another mentor who is also an MP, a former MP, yeah. But you can see they are on different sides. First of all, I was a unit committee member, and then I graduated to be an assembly member. Meaning I want to move the path of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Yeah, but there are some fortunes that I just don't want to pass through. And I want you to help me understand why, how should I manage the negative aspect of my mentor? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please. Okay, thank you. My name is Herbert Dankwa. Please, my question goes to both Mr. Prosper and Honorable. Please, as part of your individual experiences, was there any point in time you went through an imposter syndrome, whereby you realized that there were some opportunities presented to you and you felt you weren't the one to lead or be in that space? And after you got into it, how did you get to manage it? And what recommendation or advice would you give to someone who, out of the potential that he carries, is being put on for a position that he's not ready for? I believe my question is clear. All right, thank you.
This is like a PhD thesis.
Thank you so much. I'm Portia Ado. Please, my question has to do with a mentor handling so many mentees. It looks like the norm of the day is to have so many people coming after you, or emerging leaders want to have their youth or people trying to come after them, or I want to learn from you, I want to be like you. But apparently they do not really make the time to mentor the people. So can there be a kind of openness? If you think you have more than the number of mentees you can deal with, can mentors just be straight with the mentees, or you can refer the mentee to another person who would be able to mentor them? I believe that would help a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Portia. So that's our last round of questions for first.
All right, thank you. So I'll start from the bottom. So yours was like a suggestion. Yes, but just to add that if a mentor has so many mentees, you can find creative ways of engaging them. Even if it's by virtual sessions, you can do group mentoring as well, where maybe from time to time, you can just find time to interact with them, and then they would ask all the relevant questions for guidance, and the rest will also benefit. But in between time, if you do that, then in between time engagement one-on-one may be limited. Do you get me? So you can have a structured way of doing it. But the other suggestions about referrals to other people too is excellent. Now, the imposter situation. Yes. So I'm a Christian. So when I get such an opportunity, I rather consider it as a blessing. I will not say that I wasn't fit for the opportunity and I got it. So I will consider it as a blessing because I think it's favor. Are you getting my point? So I've declared my stance that I will not say that I did not qualify for the opportunity. But as a Christian, I believe that I can have divine favor. So that aside, yes, I have had such opportunities, numerous opportunities that came to me. And sometimes I ask myself, really, this is big. Can I really live up to expectation? Because you see, when someone recommends you for something, you don't have to also disappoint the person. You must live up to expectation. And so, however you will manage to deliver, you have to try and do that. I'll give you one example. I got a gig with UNICEF as a national consultant. It was big. When I read the thing, it was through a mentor who recommended me for the job. Yes, when my CV, everything I qualify. But when you read the job description and all that, you say, hey, this is tough. But I did the job. And even after that job, I got another one. Do you know what I did? I had to design a child. So first of all, conduct a mapping study on child protection in Ghana. And then on the basis of that, design a curriculum for the Ghana Police Service on child-friendly policing. Review their service instructions to conform to UN standards on how to handle children. And then train police instructors. I mean, you know, instructors in all police training institutions on how to teach police officers on those standard operating procedures. It was huge. But the good thing was that I was working with a partner from Canada. So I had to put in a lot of effort, do a lot of research, go and speak to experts in the area in order to meet the expectations of it. So yes, it happens. But when it happens, you must find ways of delivering. I don't know if I've... Resistance, like... Okay. To be honest, when I saw signs of those things, I just remained focused on what I wanted to achieve. Because I know people, I mean, sometimes when you are dealing with security, a very regimented institution like that, they will see you as some small boy who they think that, where is this one too from? And things like that. But first of all, my profile spoke for me because I had the pedigree that was required. So as much as possible, I just focused on my job. I was not concerned about what other people were saying about me. And in the long run, I was able to deliver. So then, how do you manage the negative aspects of your mentor? In fact, it's a bundle. So it's a bundle, so you must take both the good and the bad. Now, as adults, you have values. You know what you are looking for in that relationship. So you don't go and do bad things, like things that you think that your mentor does that are not right. You don't go and do that. So I would rather learn just the positives and benefit from those ones. But if there are any externalities, then I don't know, but I would not want to practice the bad things that my mentor does. So that would be my response to that. Then, what other strategies can you employ when you make efforts to reach someone you want to mentor, you feel? There are so many ways. If you send text or call a few times and the person doesn't respond, you can go to the office for an appointment or call the office and book an appointment. It's possible. You can also find out who knows that person, who is closer to that person, and then speak to the person, and the person can arrange for you to meet the person. Are you getting it? So you can look for various ways of reaching the person. But as much as you don't make one or two efforts and then leave it. If it's an MP you know that, okay, on Mondays, Parliament doesn't sit unless otherwise those are usually free days, but sometimes they even have committee sittings. MPs can be very busy from one meeting to another. They are in the chamber. So you need to also take that into account. But you can use other people to reach the person. Yes. Or you leave a note or something, or send an email or something. But don't give up just by texting and calling. Look, the number of text messages and WhatsApps they receive is not easy. So some of them are not even able to read all. When they show you the messages pending, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 10,000. And sometimes you ask yourself, do these people know that most people are trying to contact the same person at the same time? It's a very difficult situation. But you don't have to give up. What should you be doing for your mentor? Very important question. So it must be a symbiotic relationship. So in my case, I don't have money. I'm not. And sometimes you even feel that, oh, your mentor is rich, so what does he need from you? But, there were times that when my mentor spoke about me, I could not believe that I was the one that he was talking about. I mean, for a very long time, I said, why is this man patronizing me? I asked myself, because he will be making comments like, oh, this guy is good, he's this. He even writes better than I do. I say, how can you say things like this? I'll be asking myself. But one thing that I know that my mentor knows about me is that I am very straightforward and truthful. My mentor can call, so maybe the two of you are here. So Honorable calls me. Then I say, oh, Prosper, where are you? Then I say, oh, I'm at ATU. Then I will overhear him say to the person, oh, Prosper, there. When he says at ATU, he's at ATU. So if my mentor is at Parliament and calls me and I say I'm ATU, so I'm coming to Parliament, he knows that plus or minus, I'll be in Parliament in, say, 5-10 minutes. But there are some people, you cannot trust what they tell you. When he gives me task, I deliver. You must master the confidence when you think that you cannot meet the deadline. Master the confidence and communicate to the person. If you are in Lagos and there's traffic and you cannot get... Today I'm telling so many stories. There was a day I was carrying his passport. He was supposed to go to passport office. And I did not know that. Then he calls me and I was home. And at Adenta. And he also had to go to the passport office that morning because the director of passport wanted the passport to issue, I think he was doing a renewal or something. What am I going to do? I drove and got to Zongo Junction. Then I saw one of the national service persons in our office there. I think she was called Shakira. So when I saw Shakira at Zongo Junction, I just asked, Shakira, can you drive? Then he said, yes. And I said, come for the car. I gave the car to Shakira and hopped onto Okada and got to the office in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. When he saw me, he was amazed. What did I do? And I told him the story. By the time I got to the, we returned from passport office, Shakira had come to the office. So yes, what point am I making? You must be straightforward. In this town, we try to, and I say that yes, I mean, we are all not perfect people. But when you are dealing with some people, be truthful. I don't know whether it's lack of confidence. But what is wrong if you tell your boss that, oh, because of ABCD, I'm sorry, if you can give me this time. Just be honest. Honest about it. But when you are playing tricks and doing those kinds of things, I mean, I don't think that works. So that is to build trust. To build trust. You know, mentorship comes with trust. If you are following an MP, I got to know that some MPs don't like PAs who are from their constituency. Is it correct? True or false? Is it true or false? Sorry. They don't want policemen who are from their area. Do you know why? You can guess, I will tell you. Yes. So those are the things that you should do. But from time to time, you must know your mentor's birthday. When my mentor was celebrating his 50th, I organized a nice artwork for him. Of him. And one day I got to his house. He invited me to his bedroom, only for me to see the thing in his bedroom. So can you imagine how he cherished that? Yes. So little things. You don't have money, but find ways of showing appreciation that, oh, for all that you are doing for me, I appreciate it. I do this. But you must be truthful. You must be straightforward. At what point do you start mentoring? All of us here, you can mentor. Don't you help your kids, your siblings with their assignment, and you guide them and those things? You have some experience. So people in high school who are making career choices and things like that, they also look up to you. So once you are influential, you have some influence, you have knowledge and experience, I think that you can mentor to a certain level. Yes, so I think that you don't need to have any age. All right, thank you very much. And once again, let's give a big round of applause to PN Africa and partners.
Oh, come on, let's do it better for Prosper. He wants the yeah. Okay. So at this point, I think I will hand over back to Honorable Intinkuni for more questions. I think aside that, you can also share your thoughts with him. I believe that young people have great ideas, innovative ideas that the older ones can learn from. Even members of parliament would appreciate your ideas in policy making as well, because I think that will help them in the decisions they take. So for the next 10 minutes, we will have interaction with Honorable Intinkuni, and then we'll be rounding up here. So Honorable, over to you.
Right. You have a question? You want to ask a question? But you should have spoken to the moderator. Which question?
Okay, so please, my question was on imposter syndrome, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yes, so to answer that question, it happens. But you as an individual, the key thing that you should know is when to strike. All right? When to strike. Opportunity can come today. If you know you are not fully prepared for it, sometimes you may have to let it go. I give myself Or let me tell you a story. Way back in 2012, can you imagine at that time the age I was? I wanted to contest a primaries. And then two other people who were in the race approached me and told me, "You are a young man. You know what? Step down for us. You still have a lot of time ahead of you." So I didn't hesitate. I stepped down. And then I started at the background preparing hard. Fast forward, 2019, I wanted to contest again. Another guy who was very vociferous in that race told me, "You know what? I know you have done this for this person. I want you to step down for me again." Yes, I obliged. I did. One thing is that you should know yourself very well, and you should know when it is very right. Honorable, you're welcome. And you should know when you are ready to strike. Know people who are in the race and know yourself. So these two chances, yes, I wanted to take them, but I had to step back because I knew there were bigger fishes in the race. But showing myself in the race was a sign to them that this guy has an intention to come. So in 2019, no, 2023, under primaries again, then I came. That time, nobody could tell me step down again because that would have been third time. And nobody will accept that. So I went, and it was a message. I had listened to people 3 times. We went and we were 6. And this time, the vote I had, if you put the 5 of the people together, it was not up to my vote. So patience is a virtue. You should know when to strike. Know when, if you go in for this opportunity, you will get it. If you don't know yourself, there are people who have contested like 5 times, 4 times, and they never made it because they didn't do the timing very well. So timing is also very important. So don't always regret when you miss one opportunity. But you should also know when not to give up. You get it? You know that this one, I can get it. It's for me. You don't need to give up. You go for it. When you look at, do you want to ask your question? Okay, so I will do a bit and then allow my senior colleague to wrap up with you. You know, if you look at the history of Parliament, we've had young parliamentarians. The likes of Bagbin, as you see today, he entered very young. You can mention some George Okujoto, Dominic Netuwo, Haruna Idrisu. All of them entered very young. Even when you enter into Parliament, you still need to learn under people. Nobody is a custodian of wisdom and knowledge. When you get there, you need to humble yourself and learn. It applies to life experience. Always humble yourself. If you want to know more, play Dama. but you are smarter. Humble yourself. It is political, career is a daunting one. I won't lie to you. It's a daunting career. You must brace yourself up and know that I'm ready to face this challenge. You must be prepared through thick and thin. Those people I mentioned, they proved their worth, even when people were saying that they were young to be given certain things and other things. They handled the positions very well, excelled, and proved their worth. What I'm telling you is that read, learn, consult, listen. You will get to know more. Knowledge is power. If you have knowledge, you are not afraid. You have to be confident of yourself. And you can only be confident if you know your stuff. You know what you are doing. You know what you want. You know what you're after. We are fortunate. I must thank PM Africa that they are doing this yeoman's job. It is an opportunity. Practical experience. It's different from book. You can read and read. He intimated that. He said that. You can read and read. But when you get into the real game, it's a different ball game altogether. What I'm happy is that the youth are developing astronomically high interest in politics. And that's a good thing. There's this saying that nothing about us without us. You can't do anything or develop any policy about youth when you don't have youth involvement. That policy must be tailor-made. They must be involved. They must be part of the decision-making about themselves. We want to develop a policy for youth, and the youth are not given the chance to, say or contribute to that policy. It doesn't help. You may bring up the policy, but at the end of the day, it may not sit well with them, and you have not done anything. Be patient. Learn and learn. And another thing is that politicians sometimes want to distance themselves. Most people get closer with different motives. Different motives. Some want to get closer to you and even take a picture. And you know what they can do with that picture? Picture with you. They do a lot with it. And that you cannot imagine. And no politician wants to be, seen as a scammer, extortionist, and everything. So we are very careful, very, very careful. In as much as we want the genuine people to mentor, we are also very careful. So we are there to mentor you. We are ready. Anything about youth, we are for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable. Well, so we have in our midst Honorable Davis Ansah Opoku. Welcome, Honorable. We've had a lot, learned a lot. And what I'm just taking from Honorable Intikuni's remarks is wait, learn, consult, and listen. You wait, you learn, you consult, and you listen. Keep that at the back of your minds as you look around for your mentors and walk this journey in the civic space. I'll hand over to Honorable Ansah Opoku.
Thank you very much. And first, let me start by apologizing for coming late. I'm sure somebody would say that that is very usual of politicians. But that is not the case. When my colleague was talking to you, it said that, I mean, you need all the patience in this world to be a successful politician. This morning, I woke up at 7 a.m. Then I had to come to Accra with a team of about 60 of my constituents to visit persons who have lost their loved ones, people who vote in my constituency. So my constituent chairman is dead. We went to the funeral. Another person's wife is dead with a team in a school bus. And you know what that means when people see that the MP has come with an entourage to visit them. That for me is the beginning of any political journey. How you touch base with the people. It is that which wins you elections. Your relationship with the people matters a lot. And so, I know that he said a lot, so I would not want to. But I also started as a student parliamentarian in UCC. At that time, Honorable Akando, who is the current health minister, was the speaker of UCC's parliament. And I was working in the NUC's office as the officer in charge of protocol. Then, then an opportunity came for me to contest as TESCON president, and I did, and I won. And we began the engagement. But, I mean, just before I was about finishing school, we lost power in 2008, and I completed university in 2009. Then I did my national service in Parliament, 2009-2010. And I'm bringing all of this up because the passion to serve the people as parliamentarian was there. I remember during the Ghana at 50, about 250 students were selected across all universities in Ghana. And I was privileged to be part. So we came to the August House and we sat at where the MPs usually do their business. And it was live on TV. And you get home and everybody was like, hey, Ufugunu de Obuao. Yeah. Then the interest now grew a bit stronger. But what I would say is that you need patience if you want to serve. You don't just serve by saying that I rise today and I want to be MP. You don't just become an MP. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of commitment. And I want to leave you with something I call the 3 M's of politics, which is very key. One has to do with your machinery. You cannot be a successful politician if you're unable to build a strong machinery at the base. I mean, if you get to your constituency and there's nobody there to be directing you, to be helping you, to be following you, people giving you reports, people picking intelligence to tell you what is going on and all of that, that very moment, get to know that you have lost elections. Because you need a very strong machinery to thrive in this enterprise of politics. Your second M is the messaging. You may have a strong machinery on the ground, but you need to be able to advance reasons why the people should vote for you. And you don't just sit and craft messages and go and deliver to your people. In message crafting, you need to do a bit of research, get to know the needs of the people, get to know the aspirations of the people, and based on that, you craft very, very compelling message that if you speak to the people, some of them will be touched. It gets to a point you speak to people and you see that they are crying. I remember my last primaries, it was a very tough one. You get there, you hold the microphone, you engage the people. In about 20 minutes, you see people crying. And that is what helps. So that is the second M of this enterprise that we are in. And the final one is money. Anybody tells you, if anybody tells you money does not play a role in politicking, the person is lying. But you should not have the money to want to contest. In my first primaries, I had nothing. In my second primaries, I had nothing. But I'm sure I raised enough money to be able to contest. Then a third-time member of parliament who was the chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament and all of that. And to unseat him and win by some 79% at primaries should tell you that I really balanced the 3 M's of politics. I remember at a point, I called delegates from about 3 electoral areas, and they were all seated like the way we are sitting. And I was in the middle of them, and I mentioned everybody's name. There were about 42. Everybody mentioned your name. Say, hey, Honorable, is saying this. As soon as I finished, they say I shouldn't talk again. Even for the mere fact that I know their name. Because you need to do a bit more than just going to engage the people. The person that you are going to talk to, I've even done a bit of research on the person. So I do that. So if you see me with my iPad, I have my delegates album there. Every day I'm going through, seeing faces, trying to grab names, so that when I see you, I don't call you a or sister or brother. I call you sometimes by the surname. Then the person is tagged and he sees that connection going on. So those 3 M's, especially the monetary bit. If anybody says that money does not play a role in politicking, it's a lie. Now even on the university campuses, even the printing of banners, billboards, it even speaks a lot of volumes. You need money to do that. But as a politician, your ability to raise funds, your ability to mobilize resources shows how determined you are to serve your people. So in the United States of America, because of their laws on political funding, it becomes so obvious that you will get to see who is winning the presidential elections by just the fact that this person is raising more money. You see businesses pumping a lot of money into a particular political campaign. Once you see that the person is raising a lot of money, then it means that the person has a lot of prospects. Sometimes you see one cedis, $1, $2, $3, and in the accumulation of that builds a lot of resources. And that is what you use to buy fuel. Sometimes you meet people, you get there, you need to buy them water and some small motivation and all of that. So that is what I will leave you with, and I'm sure maybe we'll engage in some Q&A. But what I'll say is that if you really want to serve your people, then get close to or learn from persons who are engaged in the enterprise. I mean, doing my service in Parliament helped me a lot. I got to know a lot more people. I got to understand why I need to come to Parliament and serve. And every day, I mean, today in my constituency, somebody was stated, there are about 3 people who want to contest you. I said, we'll let them come. Because I know what I have. It's not just about money, but the relationship. That, for me, is very key. So thank you very much. And I'm sure with this short presentation, you've learned 1 or 2 from me. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Honorable. Oh, let's give it one more time for Honorable. Even though Honorable Ansah Opoku joined us at the 11th hour due to his various activities of the day, I would give opportunity for just 2 questions, after which we would wrap up officially.
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. We are very privileged to have members of Parliament here. Actually, I've been having this concern that I want to, find out from them about. Being a member of Parliament comes with enormity of responsibilities. Okay, even those of us at the student level, it's not an easy thing. I think Elisha can relate, right? And even me myself, being a speaker and a whole lot of stuff, yes, it's not easy. Talk less of those who are into mainstream politics, member of parliament. And anytime I see parliament, I don't see 275 or 276 people, but I see the entire population of Ghana. When I see a member of parliament standing on the floor of parliament, I don't see the individual person, but the entire people that they represent. And from my understanding of parliament and the way it works in line with democratic principles and all that, you are representing the views and opinions of your people in crafting the agenda and then policies for shaping national development. In parliament alone, they have a lot of other committees they serve on. And then the work they do as parliamentarians also comes with a lot of burdens. But in all, they have to make sure that whatever they are doing as MPs is reflecting the interests and the opinions of their people. They hardly get time to even visit their constituencies because of the nature of what they do in parliament. So at what point or how are they able to really touch base or maintain connection with the people to make sure that at every whatever submission they are making, it is actually reflecting the interest of the people they are representing, and not just because my political party is saying yeah, so I should also say yeah. But then whatever they are doing, it actually reflects the interest and the peculiar needs of the people they are representing. How do they do that? Do they do that at all? And if they do, how do they go about it? Okay.
So if you have a question, you go straight and ask your question. Else you'll be told that you'll be charged with being irrelevant to the issue. So when anybody must go straight to the point and ask the question, so that we can avoid.
Thank you, Mr. Ansan. So that's our chaperone. Our chaperone has spoken.
Thank you very much. As a politician or as an MP, everyone is expecting something from you. And you are always thinking about the interest of others. So I want to ask, how are you? Like, how are you doing? Like, do you understand? How are you? As an MP, you are thinking about everyone else. So how are you?
Thank you.
So, let me just say. So, I like the question. But what is the work of an MP? For me, it's not just the chamber. How you balance constituency work with what you do in the August House matters a lot. We are representing people. It means that whatever you say or however you conduct yourself must represent what your people think and what your people want to hear. So you need to engage them. I mean, for instance, Friday I was in the constituency. I had to visit persons who were sick. And when I get to a community, I invite at least some key stakeholders. They come around. Once you engage the person or you are in the mood of visiting the person who is sick, they tell you stuff. Oh, Honorable, there's been a problem. Then you pen it down. Then when you get to the August House and the road minister comes, you can now question the road minister. But if you don't engage your people, it becomes problematic. So one of the things that I have done was that when I won, I promised the people I was going to set up an MP's office. You know, Parliament don't give MP's office in their constituency. They are yet to do that. But I have set up an office with a lady there who serves as my secretary. And every day, people send letters there, and I get to engage, get to know what people want me to know, and invitations that people bring to me in my office. One other way is social media. Social media is okay. I'm sometimes surprised that if you are MP and you are not on social media, then I really don't know what you are about. I am on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I am on TikTok, I am on Snapchat, I am on Truth Social, I'm everywhere. And so once you post, your constituents comment, especially TikTok. Now TikTok is so key that even people that have difficulty in typing will now be liking your post, and they'll be telling you, my champion MP, my this, my road, my. Then you engage the person in the inbox. Then, so you need to find a way of engaging your constituents. I mean, when you get invitations for program, attend. When you attend, you get to speak to the people about what is happening in Parliament. And also, what I usually do is that every year, I go around once. So I do more of community engagement. Go to the chief, then opinion leaders come, then I pen down. All they want to hear is that, you see, they know that MPs don't solve problems. But they want to see that the MP is concerned about their problem. And so when you get the opportunity, file a question on the floor of Parliament. And once you do that, the minister comes and gives a response. You go and take that small video and share it on your WhatsApp pages and your WhatsApp channels, and your people now get to know that the MP is now asking the questions that they need to ask. There's a lot of pressure on MPs. Until we decide as a country that we are going to vote on MMDCs, the MP will continue to suffer. Because the person thinks that I voted for the MP, so he needs to do my road. I voted for the MP, so he needs to build a school. I voted for the MP, so he needs to pay my school fees. But the person doesn't know that MPs do not get any allocation to build roads, to pay school fees, or to do any of those things. All those monies goes to the district assembly. A district assembly is getting 25 million a year. An MP is getting less than 500,000 a year as your common fund allocation. You see the difference? Yours is just to be able to touch base with the people, engage in programs. But everybody wants the MP to pay school fees and won't go to the MMDC's house. And that is what brings a lot of pressure. So, to your question, you really don't get time for yourself. Friday, my kids closed from school. I didn't see them. I sat in a car, went to the constituency. Today, from here, I'm checking in at Alisa, Public Accounts Committee. We'll be there till Wednesday. What it means is that I may not be able to see them. And they are writing exams. Their mother is not in town. And it becomes problematic. If you don't take care, you would have problems. Seriously. I've done about 2-3 surgeries last year. And in 2 of the surgeries, it was due to my negligence. Because the doctor would say that stay in the house. You too, if you stay in the house, your people are complaining that they don't see you. So every day you have to go to the constituency and you'll be putting pressure on your leg. So something that will take you like 3 months to heal is taking you like 1 year to. But that should not be the case. The narrative ought to change. And it starts with you. Once we engage you, you now begin to appreciate the role of MPs. Then now the pressure on the MP lessens. Hallelujah.
Yes, basically it's the same. Especially with those from far, constituencies. Bono East region. It's far. You can't go there every weekend. But you should find a way of connecting with them. Rather, we sometimes have to prioritize. This day, I'm going to call these electoral area people. The next day, I'm going to call these electoral area people. You just have to be doing that. So, by the time the month ends, you will have covered a lot. And then, for invitations upon invitations, you can't ignore them. And some of them, you may not be there in person, but you have to go. You have to designate somebody to be there and do something. Yes, money. That's what I'm saying. You have to designate someone. And all you are waiting for is to hear your name that, oh, you did well. This program, it went well. You must have intel on the ground, as he said. You must have people who will give you a report. Did it go well? In fact, there are some people, you will send them, they will not even mention your name there. So you have to get people who are also there to monitor the ground for you and all that. And then talking about petty things, you may see them as unimportant. If you ignore them, tomorrow they will use those things to ask you questions. Like you get a sudden call, I'm in the hospital. It tells you something. You have to pay for the bill. And don't say no. Never say no. Whatever you have, then you give the person. The person will feel you know him or you are in touch with them. School fees, they call us every day. You know, even those that you don't see them as important. I'm going to marry the second wife. Yeah. Help me. And all those things. Yeah, you have to. You can't say no. So as a politician, we keep the hope alive. Even when you know that certain things you can't do or you are not even willing to do. You have to do it. So basically it's the same. The relationship that you have with the people is the most important thing. And you must not lose touch. Because they brought you there. And you can do all the jobs in the chamber. But if they don't bring you back, you can come and do the continue with the job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable. Okay, so you know we are behind time. Honorable members, as we see them here, they are coming from somewhere, they are going somewhere. So, I mean, if we had the opportunity to keep them till late, I think there is so much they would want to share with us and would want to learn from them. But unfortunately, time has been fast spent. So I'll call on our programs manager, Gilbert, to give some final remarks.
Thank you very much for the acknowledgement. And then once again, thank you, honorable members, for making time to share with us. Like Joanna said, we are far behind time. Originally, we intended to spend most time of the day with you, but time will not allow us because the various caucuses would have to meet, and they are going to elect their leaders. We have the topic to discuss tomorrow that they have to go through. And now we have even added another one, which was originally not part of the plan for tomorrow, which is the question time. So there is a lot of work that they need to do. And then we have to guide them to check and make sure that all the training that or all the results that they are going to do are on point before we appear before the parliament tomorrow. And we are still extending our invitation to you to join us for tomorrow. We've been told that your caucus has been invited, and so we are expecting you in your numbers to at least observe the proceedings, and after that share your thoughts on how it went with us. I didn't know that Sam is back. In fact, I didn't want to do this session. I wanted Sam to do it. I thought he's left. So Sam is here. You see, when the boss is around, you don't talk. So I'm inviting Sami Oben, the Chief Executive Officer. So actually, that's my boss. So, yeah.
Thank you, Gilbert. Honorable members, colleagues, I've been very excited seeing how the conversation has gone today. I've been observing quietly from the back, and it gives us the clear indications that we're in readiness for the rest of the mock parliament session. For us at Parliamentary Network Africa, this is meant to be one of those initiatives that helps us to talent, but more importantly, passion and interest, that builds up in our colleagues and our peers. This is not necessarily because these are people who are intending to become members of parliament necessarily, but these are skills that are relevant in various fields of endeavor. Debating skills, your ability to think on your feet, your ability to identify a good mentor, your ability to go through the mentorship process, and what have you. And I'm sure that the conversation today has been great. Just like Gilbert has said, the program is quite packed. There are a lot of other things that needs to be done. But I was telling the team in the office that for me, there are two things that after this mock parliament has ended on Tuesday, I look forward to. And although I have told them, I'm not too sure whether they have told you. So once I have the opportunity, let me say it myself so that you will take notice of it. The first is that for some of you, you were part of the mock parliament last year, and you've gotten the opportunity to be part of it this time again. For some, you were not. You have joined in this time. How do we ensure that at the end of this 3 days engagement, you as a cohort, a team of folks who are put together to go through this process, are able to identify an initiative that you can pursue jointly, which can be tagged to your time during this mock parliament session, because you certainly will not be those who get to be repeated every other year. But after these 3 days of engagement, and for those of you who were part of it last year, what do you get to do that can make this cohort one that can be remembered, and will be impactful? Because we are talking about members of parliament and their role as also engaging in community development, community work, and what have you. What will be your own contribution? So for me, that is one of the very, very important ones. I know that on Tuesday, one of the conversations that would also be held is how do we move this forward with all of the scattered youth conversation platforms that exist? How do we come together to make some of these things more sustainable? And I know that during those conversations, you also come up with very innovative ideas on how we can do this together. So on behalf of the entire PN Africa team, I wish to congratulate you for making it to this mock parliament this year. To our members of parliament, to thank them so sincerely for making time to join us. Prosper is already gone. I've expressed my appreciation. And of course, to my former boss, Amaki, thank you very, very much, Mr. Ansan, for doing the chaperone job, and the PN Africa team for coordinating this. We look forward to an amazing day tomorrow. As you are already aware, I'm sure the announcement will go on. I am excited about all of us joining and learning from tomorrow's launch of the Open Parliament Action Plan by the Parliament of Ghana, and then subsequently the mock parliament sitting that would happen inside of Parliament tomorrow. And we look forward to see how it goes. So thank you very, very much for actively participating, and we look forward to this kind of participation in the coming days. Thank you.
Oh, please, let me hear it for the executive director. Okay, so for our official, he has done some vote of thanks, but I want our speaker, the current speaker of the National Youth Mock Parliament, to give the official vote of thanks for today's session.
Honorable members from the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, the team of PN Africa, the ever hardworking team of PN Africa, my colleague, parliamentarians of PN Africa National Mock Parliament, I'm very honored to give the vote of thanks for today's opening session of the second National Youth Mock Parliament of PN Africa. First of all, I would like to thank the Almighty God for making today a success and this program a success. The Bible says that in all things we give thanks to God. So we thank the Almighty God for bringing us together and making this opening session a great success. I would like to also extend my heartfelt gratitude to our honorable members and staff from the Parliament of Ghana. We all know that parliamentarians are very, very, very busy people, but they have made time out of their busy schedules to be present here and to share this in-depth knowledge with us. In fact, we are very much grateful. And we those who aspire to be members of parliament in the near future, this is not just knowledge we have gotten, it's also an inspiration. Seeing them standing before us and speaking to us is an inspiration. So our honorable members and staff from Parliament of Ghana, we are most grateful for your presence. And I hope what we have learned today will go a long way to help us in our daily endeavors, even as we leave these premises. And to the ever hardworking team of PN Africa, thank you very much for putting this program together. In fact, we those here are very much privileged to be part of this program. And last year was marvelous. This year promises to be extra marvelous. So, we thank you so much. And then we hope this will continue and it will not end. May God bless everybody. Thank you.
Oh, let's hear it for Mr. Speaker. Oh, come on. Are you guys hungry? Let's do it better. Okay, so we'll be taking a group picture. The backdrop will be put up on the stage for us to take a nice group picture with our members of parliament to commemorate this year's National Youth Mock Parliament. Please, let's go. Honorable Clerk, please stand by. Yeah. Where is Sam? Honorable Id, we need you with your heart. Oh.
Majority, give me the hard one.
Okay, please, let's take a seat. Let's take a seat. Hello? Yes, so like I said, time is fast spent. And we need to quickly have our